So welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about all the things you can plant and sow in the month of August. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my allotment, my home garden, and from time to time my home kitchen. So I've got my seed tin here. Just open it up, as you can see, a little bit of an addiction with seeds. So I've just got out some of the ones that I think would be more suited to planting out in August. Really handy to have an allotment journal to hand as well, because you can make a note of what you've planted out or sown each month, and then you can monitor how well it does as to whether you want to do it again the following year. So one of the things that I won't be planting out, I didn't find that my beetroot did very well when I sowed it in August. July is okay, but leaving it till August I found it was a bit of a push, but hey, you guys might have found it more successful than I did. So one thing you can do is, obviously there's lots of seeds we can do, which we're going to go through, but you can just obviously get some plants from, you know, a local garden centre and just plant them straight out. You know, don't forget your local garden centre, because that can give you a little bit of inspiration when you're stuck of what you can plant out. And a really easy one to get are herbs. So I've got my Subpod here. Obviously I've got some beetroot in there as well, but I've got a selection of herbs. I found that the Subpod works particularly well, especially when you late plant your herbs, because it's a composting system. The heat kind of generates a bit more warmth and they do a little bit better. And most of my herbs lasted completely through the winter, and I only replaced them in the spring when they started to bolt and get a little bit shabby. But some of them, like the basil, just grew back, and the chives are old. It's just the parsley went all through the winter, but it didn't, it then got a little bit shabby and I had to replace it. But apart from that, they all did really, really well. If you've not got a Subpod system, it's a composting system, there will be a link for you to click on if you want to purchase one of those, and there will be a link in the description as well. They are really handy, and I do really love having mine. It is really useful and quite nice and handy. You can sit on it as well. So as we move swiftly on, there are some things you can get from garden centres, like there'll be a range of brassicas that you could plant out now. That might be something that you could plant out. I mean, I myself, I don't have an awful lot of room, but I'm sure there's going to be a few more things that I'll definitely be squeezing in. So just check out your garden centres and just see what's available. So as we go through the seeds, so lettuces, so successional sowings in lettuces is really, really important, because obviously they bolt. I've got a whole range of different kinds of lettuces here. So I've got frilly leaf blend, I've got mixed spice, I've got a very curly red leaf one, and a mixed salad there. So putting out some more salad leaves. I direct sow these straight into the ground, because it's much easier rather than putting them in modules. So that's a really easy thing you can do. Good old-fashioned rocket. I personally like the wild rocket, because it quite often self-seeds every year, so you don't have to keep planting it. So you can pull out the old shabby ones and there'll be some new ones to replace it. Pak choy is a really good choice for August, because it's very, very fast growing. So that's something you could put out now, and because when you put it out earlier the risk of bolting is quite high, and putting it out in August means it's less likely to bolt, so that's a really good choice. Bright Lights chard or Swiss chard, one of my favourites, because you can use it for so many different things. You can put it in salads, you can put it in stir fries. Everyone likes a bit of spinach, and when it's multicoloured you can even cut the stems up and use them in stir fries and risottos and all sorts of different things, and they do have a little bit of flavour when they're the coloured stalks there. So that's a really good one, which is a really good one to have if you've not got some already out. I've got some and I've already sown some more because I love it so much. So some fast growing carrots. So again, check out your seed packets with what you're buying. If you put carrots out in August, you want ones that are going to grow quicker, because obviously you've lost part of the season. Early Nantes is a good one, but again, check out ones that don't need to get so big, like these little tiny Chantenay ones that don't grow as big, you know, ones that aren't going to take too long to mature. Good old-fashioned radishes, obviously always successional sowing on radishes, so they're a really easy one to be putting out because they grow so incredibly quickly, so that's a really good one to be putting out. And spring onions as well. Spring onions are a really good one to be putting out in August too. So if you've not got any of those out, or you want a successional sow a few more, that's another good thing. And if you wanted to start some of your herbs off from seed as well, you know, like your coriander or your parsley, and there's various other herbs, again, check out the packets, and there's lots of herbs you could also be starting off this time of year as well. Now I do hope that my video has been useful. a little bit windy here, so I'm just going to grab the seeds so they don't blow away. I'd love to know what you guys are sowing at the moment, things that you found particularly successful when you sow in August, because I'd like to know, because it is a little bit hit and miss when you pop things in August. That would be really fantastic.